Hello procrastinators, Sam here, and I am back to making more videos. It's been a while, I've been focusing a lot on streams, and that's not going anywhere, but I want to focus on making videos again, so that's what I plan on doing. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and if you want more. We need to talk about the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds online network test that just ended. I am going through serious withdrawal right now. It's actually crazy. It really is like an addiction. I woke up actually really sad to know that I will not be able to play the game today. I had so much fun over the course of the last 4 days during the online network test. First off, this was so much better than the last beta that we played back a long time ago. It feels like now maybe 6 months or something. It was a while ago, and that one had a lot of balancing issues. A lot of the items were overpowered, and I'm so happy to say that the balancing on this one is much better, much better. And in that one, everyone was always so grouped up together. It never felt like you had really room to breathe. I am happy to say that this new one, while playing online, it does have those moments like all those kart racers do where it gets pretty chaotic and it might feel like things are overpowered, but the balancing is so much better, and there's a lot more you could do to counteract attacks coming toward you this time, which was awesome to see. I cannot stress enough how much fun this network test was. I had so much fun just playing with my friends, you know, and imagine this. Imagine taking your friends and then going into an online game together. Imagine that. It's something called matchmaking. Welcome to 2007, Sega. Yes, this is the first kart racer to have proper matchmaking. Team Sonic Racing. This is the reason Team Sonic Racing failed. In fact, I plan on making a video about this in the future, but yes, you can actually take your friends and go online. Imagine that. It was so much fun playing with my friends. It was only 4 slots, so we had to kind of rotate on and off during the 4 days of the stream, but you guys saw it was fun. I tried streaming every single day. I did reach legend rank like many others. I played for that long. In fact, I think I have well over 24 hours into the game, which is crazy to say. And keep in mind, this is just a sliver of the game. A sliver. Okay, this is probably like 1/5 of the content we're really gonna have in this game when it comes to like characters, gears, and I would say this is less than half of the maps probably. So if this is the amount of fun I had with just this amount of the game, I can't imagine how much fun I'm gonna have when the full game releases. And speaking of maps, let's go into what we had in the network test. So maps that returned from the last beta was the East Stadium, Magnum Planet, Metal Harbor, Dinosaur Jungle, Rainbow Garden, Roulette Road, Sky Road, Wonder Museum, Kraken Bay, and Water Palace. And this time we actually had some new maps which were a ton of fun to play. We had Mystic Jungle from Sonic Forces, Colorful Mall, which is a new stage, which is totally not a ripoff of Coconut Mall. We had Sand Road, which was a lot of fun. And then we just get hit with a lot of Unleashed love. We got Apados, Holoska, and Dragon Road. The new maps were a lot of fun. I actually really liked Mystic Jungle. The water slides in that were really fun, and doing jumps from one part of the slide to another by ramping off of them is something I love. Again, it's something I like in 3D Sonic, being able to take your speed and ramp off an object and fly off and land somewhere else. It's really addicting and something I liked about Sonic Frontiers whenever you could do it, and a lot of fan Sonic games. I love that dynamic, and the fact that this game has moments like that is really fun to see. Colorful Mall, like I said, is kind of a Coconut Mall ripoff. There is no shame in saying that, but it is a lot of fun, and the level design is great, and the music is also fantastic as well. Sand Road, honestly, at first the remix was like, whoa, but I legitimately love this remix now. Whenever we got into this track, the music was always just bumping. I really loved this track. It was a lot of fun. The water segments were fun. A lot of great moments in that one. Apados is crazy as hell because you have those tight corridors and people were constantly doing that goddamn monster truck all the time. I'm looking at you, Wallace. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Peon that rated?
Peon what?
Mimi Peon?
Yeah.
She was live earlier. I saw it. So so.
Okay. Dude, you just run me over? Let's just focus on the race. And I got ran over.
There's a baddie. There's a baddie in there.
Why? Why do you run the worst thing ever? And those hallways were just a death trap, but the craziness was fun, especially if you know how to counteract that stuff when you can. Holoska is so beautiful. I cannot believe, by the way, not only do we have 3 Unleashed maps, but we actually chose a nighttime Unleashed level. That is awesome. And by the way, too, Holoska is actually based off the Wii/PS2 version of the game, not the HD version if you look at the level aesthetics, which is also really cool to see that version of the game get representation too. Love the remix in that one as well. It's very authentic to the original, and Dragon Road as well sounds really cool. I love how the music in Dragon Road really cuts into the middle of the song, because it really feels like you're like right in the heat of it, really interrupting right in the middle of this crazy world. It's so cool. So again, I really liked these tracks. If these are some of the tracks we're gonna be getting in the full game, oh my God, we're in for a good time. Now let's talk about the big one, the big thing about this network test that everyone got to experience for the first time, the riders boards. And this is something that was not a shock to me and to many others. It does not play like Sonic Riders. And to be honest, as much as I loved Sonic Riders 1 specifically, and I really cherished that game and I have fun playing multiplayer in that game, let's be honest here, the reason why I don't think that game really took off the way that a lot of these racing games do is because it had such a high skill ceiling. And while I personally like that, I think it was probably too high. That's why it kept changing every game. They wanted to try to dumb it down more and more from Riders 1. But that's not to say this is not still fun in its own way. So the Riders boards in this game are boost type vehicles. So you have to prioritize your boosts. Your boosts have a lot of better stats than say the cars in this game. Now the boards in this game don't have great turning, which is what goes against, you know, that's where the balancing comes in. This has to have a downfall if it's going to have a great thing for it as well. But I still love the Riders boards. In fact, I want to say like 75% of the player base I've experienced on the online network test were all rocking rider boards instead of cars, which was really charming to see. I would still like if we had grind rails or something just to spice up that gameplay a little bit more to differentiate from the cars. But regardless of that, it's still a lot of fun. The transformation mechanic is back as it was in Transformed, and that is still fun as well. And the customization is also, again, really a highlight of this game. In fact, I made my board look like the controller icon on my logo. And it was so cool that I was able to at least do that, to give it some sort of, to spice it up, to make it something that is mine. And it felt really cool to see it in action, and people were actually complimenting the board. You could actually like people's vehicles in the game, which was also really cool to see as well. And again, this is just a sliver of what we'll be able to do in the full game. And that is so great to see that I had this much fun with just such a small amount. I do wish you could stack the stickers while customizing your vehicles, but I think I understand why they did that, because they didn't want people to make some crazy things in the game, which would require probably a whole set of of moderation that they probably don't want to put their resources towards. So I understand why they did it, but it is a bummer you can't stack. It does kind of hurt the creativity a little bit, but I did see a lot of really cool vehicles made. I saw people recreate like a Dreamcast car. That's so cool that people have come up with like really unique ideas. But by far the thing that I really want to discuss, that I really want to praise, honestly, is the gadget system in this game. I did not think I would have this much fun with the gadget system. I had a little bit of fun last time, but this time there was a lot more gadgets, and it was so fun seeing what each gadget does and trading different gadgets and seeing how that impacts my racing ability. I would constantly ask my chat, hey chat, you know, what's the meta? Tell me what's the best thing to put right now. And what's crazy is everyone said a different thing. There was not one thing that seemed overly broken. There was not one gadget that everyone would have outside maybe the fast tricks. Even then, I actually didn't have the fast tricks. When I was playing the game, I was actually rocking 2 different gadgets. One that allowed me to carry 3 items, and I get an item every time you do a lap. And the next one was where when I take damage, I don't slow down as much. And that's the only items I rocked for the majority of my time playing the network test. And I had a really good time with those gadgets. gadgets. But there was so much variety with what people were doing. A lot of people were, using the level 4 drift boost, and when you activate it, you're actually invincible for like 1 second, and that's a good way to stay in first place. There was another gadget where you don't get any buffs for the first 2 laps, but in the last lap, all your stats get up by plus 20. There was a lot of really unique things, and again, so many people were saying different things in my chat. We've had like 1,500 people watching the stream at one point, and everyone was saying a different thing as the meta for this game. Everyone had their own opinions on the gadgets, and again, I'm really happy to see there's not some overly overpowered gadget to do that everyone's gonna rock. When you play this game, you're gonna need to experiment with the gadgets yourself. You wanna find something that is more your speed, something that you will like, and I think that is a great thing. It just brings so much variety to this game that I'm not used to when it comes to Sonic racing games. And it's also important for me to note that I don't really have any major gripes with this game. I do have some nitpicks here and there. The number one thing for me is the desync. I think the desync in this game can be pretty bad sometimes. Like it will say like, I hit somebody, and then I will say, haha, take that. And they're like, what are you talking about? I didn't get hit. And it's like, what? On my screen you did. So there is a big desync problem with this game. I know most racers do have that, but maybe that's something they could touch up before release. It is unfortunate if not, but again, that is a nitpick. It's really not as bad as I've seen in other games. It is still playable. It is still so much fun, and most of the time whatever you see on screen does happen in the game, but there are those few moments where the desync does show you something that didn't really happen. Another critique I would have is I would love for the when you cross the finish line for it to show your time, because while you get to see whether you beat someone or not, I would love to see how close we were to each other when we passed the finish line, because there's so many like photo finishes I've had in this game. It was crazy. The last thing I will say as a nitpick is the Joker event. That was a lot of fun, and I really do like having that TSR teammate gameplay in this somewhere. But unfortunately, when this went live, the regular matchmaking mode was disabled for 24 hours. I got fatigued really fast from this event. It was still fun, but I didn't have as much as I did have with the matchmaking. So I'm hoping when the game fully comes out, they don't do that, where you could still play matchmaking if you want to. If there's an event, you can play the event if you want to. But I didn't really like that they took away matchmaking for the event. It just felt like it really hindered the experience, and I'm sure they probably would have saw a player dip during that event, because I did see a lot of people not really fond of that decision. But that's literally it. Outside of that, I had a ton of fun. Overall, I think the music has been great. I've seen some people, were really not liking the music, and I get it too. The DJ mix of Apatos kind of threw me off. I was like, what the heck? But that's not actually in the game. That's just in the DJ mix, which is really surprising to see. But overall, I really like the music in the game. And, it's not on the level of other Sonic racing games, but it's still really good. And I had a lot of fun. What is there to say? This is a Sonic racing game, something to hold us over until the next big thing, and this is exactly what I wanted. Something to play with you guys, something to play with my friends while we wait. This is the perfect game I wanted, and I cannot wait for this game to fully release. And while we wait for this game to release, I'm actually doing a marathon called the Road to CrossWorlds. I'll be playing every mainline racing Sonic game on stream for the next 3 weeks. It's almost like streaming every single day, and I have the schedule up on screen here. And I will be playing every single racing game up until the release of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, as well as be playing Sonic Rivals for the first time. I've never played that series, so there's a lot of fun stuff in store regarding that marathon, which I'm excited for. And yeah, the game releases early on September 22nd. I will definitely be there to play the game. I will definitely review the game. I will definitely play it with you guys, but I am really excited for what the future holds for this game, especially when it comes to like as they continue to update the game, add more content. It'll be great. This is something I definitely see them continuing to improve and continuing to add on for years to come. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys very soon. See you later, procrastinators.